biggest altcoin pump is starting, and this could be life-changing, guys. I woke up and I saw the charts. They were almost at 90,000. We were almost at a $90,000 Bitcoin. It's the first thing I heard and saw this morning. It's so exciting. That said, Bitcoin's getting all the attention right now. But do not fade the altcoins. They are gearing up for a breakout, one like we have not seen in a very long time. So today we explain the perfect setup that you can follow, one that whales, huge investors are doing, a strategy you can follow too to catch the massive wave of liquidity that's about to hit the markets. So this video is for you. Let's jump in. Let's just get started. All right. So first thing is first, this is Bitcoin's chart. Crazy, huh? We are at 88,398 at the time of this video. When I woke up, we were like here, like 8:15. Amazing. I put in a long last night. I was like, this is gambling. This is 100% gambling. And I was like, okay, we're going all in. I heard Kyle, he was like, I'm longing, I'm emotionally, what did he say? I'm emotionally trading. I was like about to go to sleep. I'm like, me too. Long. But that said, if we take a look at inflows, we'll see that the charts definitely reflect the bullish sentiment in the air. As you can see, what's highlighted in green, this is yesterday's data, depending on where you are in the world. But you'll just see like investment, like almost across the board, except for these three in the middle. No big deal. And it's been that way pretty much since Trump was elected in as president. So we have this general, very bullish sentiment in the air. And that's what I want you to hold on to as we go through today's show, because it all tells us a story. And then secondly, if we take a look at the liquidations heat map, it tells us Doge, basically there were many liquidations on Doge, on Bitcoin, etc., etc. And next, this is probably one of the most interesting charts I'm going to share with you today. This gentleman, Neste, he starts off by showing us three charts for the last three bull runs, right? We have 2017 here, 2020, and 2024. Amongst and throughout all of these charts, he shows us how much Bitcoin ran up after it broke out and reached new all-time highs, right, in the last three bull runs. The first one, 2017, once it finally broke out, it went up 122%. This last bull run, 2020, it went up 112%. This bull run, if it's anything like the past bull runs, we can expect something similar. But what is very interesting, like 2 days prior, he shared the same chart saying like, are you bullish enough? The last two cycles, Bitcoin doubled in less than 2 months on the first price discovery markup. So this is less than 2 days ago before Bitcoin broke out. And he was already saying this, right? Because he could see we were on our way up. And then, whoa. You know, lo and behold, less than or 2 days later, we did break out. So this very much so, I'm not a fortune teller, but just looking at the data, this may very much so be Bitcoin breaking out, going into its parabolic phase, which is very interesting on basically what happens from here, right? Because it's Bitcoin first, then top altcoins, and then it goes into macro caps, micro caps, and then, of course, meme coins are kind of like their own sector this bull run. This is from Peter Brandt. He says, Bitcoin gave everyone a chance to buy breaks from March to October this year. When Bitcoin decides to mark up and never looks back. Throughout its history, when Bitcoin runs, it runs. Based on January through March of this year, price could hit up to 125,000 by New Year's. According to this Bayesian probability, it says like based on the information that we have right now, which could be updated, right? It looks like we're on the trajectory to hit 125,000 by New Year's, guys. And then I heard today with all of my research and yesterday that we may very likely be looking at like minimally a $300,000 to $500,000 Bitcoin this bull run. And then here's a tidbit on Van Eck. Bitcoin's value will be half of that of gold's outstanding. So something like what I just told you, 300,000 for Bitcoin. And that is reasonable, not outlandish, and not a Bitcoin maximalist perspective is what he actually says in this video. Let's play it for you.
Yeah, and it's great to have you. And when you're probably asked as much as I am if Bitcoin's going to 100,000 next, what would you say?
Kelly, happy Friday. I think Bitcoin's going to hit all-time highs. It hit them today, and I think it's going further, right? My basic premise is that ultimately Bitcoin's value will be half of that of all the gold outstanding. So you're talking about something like $300,000 for Bitcoin.
Why only half the value? Why not a quarter of the value or pick some other random number?
I like how she says
Well, because
random number,
maybe I'm more balanced. I think if I were Bitcoin maximalist, I would say it would overtake gold. But I think that's like a reasonable base assumption. It's clear, one of the big winners this year is individual investors have really piled into the Bitcoin ETFs. And I think as individuals, as a constituency, they were important in this election. The loss by Sherrod Brown of his Ohio Senate seat, the fact that Trump went to the Bitcoin convention shows that there's a big constituency in the U.S. and hopefully it becomes a bipartisan issue as well, not so one-sided.
There are other...
Okay, this is, guys, where we start to transition into what I want to talk about today. But first, Rect Capital says, in 2013, it took 6 weeks of upside. Okay, it took 6 weeks into price discovery, for price discovery, before BTC experienced any sort of deeper pullback, right? So Bitcoin ran for 6 weeks before it had a correction, okay? This is similar to what I was showing you a moment ago on the chart. In 2017 cycle, Bitcoin rallied 8 weeks into price discovery before a deeper pullback. So it took even longer last bull run before there was a correction. So it just runs. This is why I opened long. This is not financial advice. And this bull run, this cycle, BTC rallied 4 weeks into price discovery before a deeper pullback. No, sorry, this was last bull run, right? And this bull run in 2024, we're only 2 weeks and 2 hours into price discovery. What may very likely happen, as the CEO of VanEck said a moment ago in his video, is we're looking at minimally, guys, like 100,000, 150. I mean, he said 300,000, but that could be at the top of price discovery, right? Like before the pullback happens. But leading up to it, yeah, I mean, we're looking at a Bitcoin, I would say very, very reasonably, probably 100,000 within a week or two. We're taking a look at the funding rate heat map. And all you really need to take away from this heat map is basically that green, everything you see in green here, is neutral. What is in yellow, or if you ever see it in orange, as we can see here, it's like a yellow-orange for Sui and Pepe. That is a very bullish sentiment. So as you can see for yesterday, as of November 11th and 12th, we've officially shifted over into a positive bullish sentiment, and funding rates prove it. People are waking up. Bitcoin has definitely not hit all-time highs. So if you're wondering if it's still a good time to buy Bitcoin, yes, it definitely is. You have not missed the boat. And I'm not covering it in today's video, but we know that Michael Saylor with MicroStrategy, his fund, they're always famously going to buy the top. And he jokes about it, that he's always going to buy the tops, because if Bitcoin is someday going to be worth $1 million, or more than $1 million, then buying it at 80,000 or buying it at 100,000 is still on sale. It's still cheap. So all of that to say, and to roll into this really good tweet by Crypto Amsterdam. And he's basically running through a scenario where some of his community members are asking him like, hey, is it still a good time to buy some altcoins, or is it too late to enter into crypto now? And this is what he explains, right? He says there's basically been a few different moments, right? Like the best moments have been in the last few months, but the second best time is probably now, he says, especially if we get some dips right after the Bitcoin breakout. Money has not flowed into the majors yet. Dominance has not dropped. People are still in disbelief, right? We don't hear it on mainstream media yet. Have you heard it on CNN, people freaking out about Bitcoin yet? No. If you have been seeing Bitcoin's price pump, then congratulations to you for being tuned in. The worst moment, he says, is when it starts to feel comfortable. Everyone's shouting up only, when Lambo, you hear all these like funny memes on Twitter, or when you see it on TikTok, and when you see like normie celebrities talking about crypto and Bitcoin, okay, that is when you know we're nearing the top. We have not seen that yet, so that's your biggest signal. So what kind of mindset do we have to have in order to be successful this bull run? It's very simple. So it's like, one, you need to build your positions and you need to commit to a more hands-off approach. Okay, one that's not going to have you glued to your trading account. Oh no, it went up $100. Oh no, it went down. Like, no, stop. Because like I told you, cryptocurrencies, especially the good ones, or all of them really, they all are alive. So they are going to move, all right? And if you're going to be freaking out every time they move a little bit, then you're going to get high blood pressure and probably get very sick this bull run, just to be honest with you. So it's not healthy, for one. Very, very not healthy. The second rule you need to have is you need to buy into massive liquidation cascades that will be inevitable to get, right? So assuming you're holding good altcoins, when you see there's like a cascading liquidation, right? Like everyone's selling out, that's a good time to buy. You need to train yourself or retrain yourself to see dips as a good thing, as a sale. That's what you need to do. That said, you need to keep some liquidity on hand so that you can buy. I just did that a few days ago because we've been traveling. We're here in Bangkok. Welcome. And I was just going through my tokens, like I said in my last video, because I'm happy for the most part with most of my holdings, but there's some that I just haven't heard many updates on from the team. So I didn't know what was going on. Do I still need to hold these tokens or not? So I just decided that I was gonna exit some positions and keep that in as dry powder, as liquidity, so that I could snatch up good opportunities when I see good liquidation cascades, as point number 2 is being said here. Number 3 is you need to sell during euphoric signals. When you see Coinbase rankings come up and it's putting certain tokens that have pumped a lot already on like top high ranks, that's a signal. When different tokens have sustained high funding, that's a signal. When you see people purchasing expensive items, like before last bull run popped, you saw people selling NFTs for like millions of dollars, that was a sign. When friends, as I was saying a moment ago, and famous people are buying, that's a sign. When extreme high greed on fear and greed index, when there's high greed, right? There's a whole index on this. When it's high, then that's when you need to sell. So it's part of the retraining your mentality. And then next, you need to remove, don't function off of specific price targets or portfolio like targets in your mind. Focus on indicators like euphoria. I would say of all of these tips he's given us on this list, I would say the euphoria, having gone through a bull run, last bull run, that was epic. The biggest sign was when everyone was super rich and everyone was just like glowy eyed, dollar signs and like buying really expensive things. That was a really big sign. So that would be the biggest one. Okay. And most likely this is like this next summer, May, June, start tuning in and follow this channel, subscribe and like the notification bell if you want to be notified when this is going to happen. So all of that to wrap up and say, making money this bull run is not the hard part. It's going to be keeping it. That's going to be the hard part. Follow the signals, follow the euphoria signal especially, which requires you to be plugged into Twitter. They call it crypto Twitter. Don't get confused. There's not a special crypto Twitter. It's on Twitter, X, and it's just the crypto industry. So if you don't have an X account, I'd recommend you create one. I'd recommend you follow me. I share all of my news, everything that I cover here, I share on my Twitter account. And then I'd recommend you go follow everyone I'm following, because that's going to create your home feed that's going to make it be really curated of the best top news, because that's what you have to do. And when you see it's really, really euphoric and everyone's super excited, take a little bit of profit. Here we have Zahir saying, if you weren't around in 2020, then do what you can do to be online in the next 3 months. There's this quote I used to love when I was younger, and it's been coming to mind a lot lately, which is prepare not to fail, or basically you're preparing to fail. It sounds cheesy, but it's so true, right? Like if you don't give yourself the conditions required, like for gaining muscle, like you can work out, this happened to me, you can work out as much as you want, but if you're not eating enough protein, enough of your macros, you're not going to gain muscle. So, what I've noticed with changing my diet is that now I'm actually growing, and it's awesome. And it's the same thing for crypto. You have to really set yourself up or it's just not going to happen, This is a bit of a recap, right? So Bitcoin is pumping, it's swelling, it's swelling, it's swelling. As it's doing that, I'll show you this chart first, actually. We'll see that Bitcoin's index score, or where we're at right now in the market, is a 39. So this tells us we're still in Bitcoin season. As soon as we go past 50 and we're crowding towards 75, okay, on this index score, then we know we flipped into altcoin season. So for now, we're still in Bitcoin season, guys. So that's where this is happening. I would encourage you to accumulate some more Bitcoin if you can. I'm about to use Aave for the first time. I'm very excited to borrow against my Bitcoin to buy more Bitcoin, which is MicroStrategy's strategy, Michael Saylor. So this will be very exciting. I'll let you know how it goes. But as you can see, according to the index score, we are not quite in altcoin season yet. But Bitcoin season has to pass before we roll over into altcoin season. And that's where a lot of gains are made. Once we do flip over into altcoin season, this is the advice, is don't go chasing small caps. Because here, as you can see on my screen, are the average month to date performance of projects by market cap. So we have them in row, right? So we have the top 20, top 50, top 100, top 200, top 500, top 1000. And then you have how much they have performed month to date. We have the percentage that they've gone up month to date goes down. It tells us that the top 20 are the very, very best top performing altcoins that have real use case, real teams, they've been around a while, probably here since last bull run. They're going to do better than the small caps. So if that's the mindset, then you put the majority of your eggs into the top blue chip tokens. And then you put just a chunk into, speculative, risky micro caps if you want. But even then, there is a strategy. You have to make sure it's viral, make sure that top people are following it, make sure that it survived the first pump and dump, because all tokens have that. A good test in knowing if you're in good positions or not would be to look at your month to day. So your profits to loss ratio. If you're up above 20%, then you're doing fine. But if you're not, then reconsider your strategy. And then we saw this chart on the fear index. And then here, this is from Miles. It's very good. It's actually very good, and it's so, so true. This is exactly the story that we saw last bull run. But this is our path. I would encourage you to take a screenshot of this. This is our path towards altcoin season. We know that based on previous charts I shared with you in this video, we are a good 4 to 6 weeks. We have 4 to 6 more weeks of Bitcoin running up before it somewhere in that range finds its new price floor. And then once that happens, then we know that liquidity, all that new money, a lot of it will start to flow into other top altcoins, right? So this is the way it most likely will happen, is there will be a flow of money in phase one into Bitcoin, causing price surge. Some money, there will be an overlap. Some money will flow into Ethereum, but it will struggle to keep up with Bitcoin. Ethereum will go back and forth with Bitcoin until it starts outperforming it. Phase two is when Ethereum outperforms Bitcoin. So keep your eyes peeled. When you see Ethereum outperform Bitcoin, and we hear talks of the flippening, all right, that's how you know you're in phase two. And usually here is when there is money starting to trickle into large caps. And that's where we can see a lot of buy-ups happening. People buying their favorite, top like large caps, layer twos. Then this is when phase 3 happens. So Ethereum has been outperforming Bitcoin and large caps are going parabolic. All right, usually during this phase, regardless of market cap, some altcoins with strong fundamentals are having pumps. This is when like kind of everything is pumping. And phase 4 of the altcoin season is when you notice like everything is flush. Okay, you have large caps gone vertical. Okay, and we're seeing blow off tops, you know, people taking profits and it's still going up, you know. Mid caps, low caps, micro caps all tend to pump around the same time. Like everything's pumping. That's basically what's happening. Okay. Large caps have been outperforming Bitcoin and Ethereum. It seems every coin is going parabolic, regardless of fundamentals. Like I said, everything is popping off, right? And meme coins are everywhere. Everyone is super excited and you feel mania in the air. That's when you better be taking profits. Okay, please tune in, like, and subscribe. Like, this is when you better be taking profits. And I'll remind you, but please remember that. You need to do the opposite of what everyone else is doing in the market. And then this is just funny, guys, to kind of wrap it up. I only have 4 more slides to share with you, but it's just like showing you like, you know, how much we've matured, let's put it that way. Like back in the day, meme coins were like Neuro Token and Quantiverse and very like sophisticated names. Nowadays, they're like Dog with Hat and Frog and Fartcoin and Peanut. Per sector, you can see that right now it's still meme coins. It like varies, right? Like if you've been watching my show consecutively, you would know it was like layer ones, meme coins, and AI. Sometimes DeFi. Like they're all kind of like the top ones. But as of now, it's like meme coins leading the way, AI, layer ones, no surprise, and some layer twos. And then I bet then it's gaming. Interesting. So far, very similar, slight differences depending on the day. And this is how we're doing in general. Yeah, these are like the top performing tokens by market cap. No surprise here, right? Usually you just look at like the top 10. I just look at like the very, very top just to get a snapshot of what's going on. But so far the markets are green, guys. Green and looking beautiful. And just to wrap it up and as a reminder of how things work and are going to work and what the biggest whales in crypto are doing is they know this. They've been in crypto for a while. They know the cycles. They've been burnt before. I've definitely been burnt before. And so this is what we're looking out for. And this is how you can make money is you need to know what's coming. The only thing that's really different this bull run is now we have a meme coins with like they're like their own private sector. And the rotation is Bitcoin majors into altcoins, into mid caps, into micro caps. And let me know if you don't know what these are. I'll do my best to explain it in the comment section. And with memes, it's probably going to be the top tier 1 sex listed memes. So like Doge, these are like the blue chips now in memes, right? Doge, Bonk, Pepecoin, I would say Pepecoin, Popcat, stuff like that. You can read the rest on my screen. And then lastly, guys, just to wrap it up, it's just some alpha for you. This is going on now, pretty much by the time that I release this video. There is an LCO on paid network called Blast Royale. It's very, very exciting. And there's a few things you have to do, which is you have to complete your KYC, connect your wallet, and mark it as primary. For the token sale, there's your early pool that already opened yesterday, so don't worry about that one. The one that you can participate in would be open pool. And this is incredible because they basically give you an opportunity to invest in at almost cheaper than the VCs got in on. In this specific case, they were invested alongside Dragonfly and Mechanism Capital. And if you've been in crypto for a while, you would know that that's one of the biggest signals that tells you a crypto project's going to do well is if they have really big backers, really big investors, because these really big funds do their due diligence and deep research, and they basically validate that this is a good project that's going to fly, that has, you know, real technology and real graphics and a real marketing team to take it to Valhalla, to success. And so it's really, really, really good indicator and signal. Come check them out. this is a pretty big opportunity. This is how rich people make their money, is they buy it on discount in the very beginning. And it's only a 9-month linear vesting, which is enough time for you to get the rest of your tokens before the parabolic phase of this bull run is over. So I like that. I like that a lot. It will protect you from selling all of your tokens in one hit. It'll kind of like pace it out. And once again, this project is backed by top funds in the crypto space. So it's probably a token and a project that you want to hold long term anyway. But of course, like take some profits along the way, but don't sell all. Like that would be very, very dumb. You'd kind of be shooting yourself in the foot. But anyways, guys, that wraps it up for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you gained value. I hope you learned a lot. I hope you are ready and set up for success this bull run. Yeah, you remember that it's just starting. Bitcoin has a good month or so, plus or minus, to run. And then from there, it's going to roll over into altcoin season. So now is still a very good time to position yourself for success this bull run. But all right, guys, I will catch you in my next video. Ciao.